Hi everyone, this is my March 2017 TBR. I've decided to start doing more TBRs this year just because I feel like it holds me accountable to read the books that I would otherwise probably avoid. That's because if I just choose to read whatever I feel like after I finish a book, I usually go for like the newer books that I haven't had for very long that just seem way more interesting. And I end up passing by a lot of the books that I have sitting on my shelves for a long time that maybe I'm not as excited about as I am about some of the other ones. So this keeps things fair that I get to read a variety of books. So let's get right to it. The first book is called The Animators by Anne Ray Whitaker, and I've heard a lot about this book. I feel like this book is incredibly overhyped. I don't know if it's good or not yet since I haven't read it, but the synopsis of it doesn't sound that interesting to me, but I figure I may as well read it because I keep hearing about it everywhere on the podcasts, from other people, on Instagram I see pictures of it everywhere. It's only right that I would get to read it. Basically this book is about two friends who meet in art school. So they've known each other for a long time, and as time goes on and they grow up, they start working together, and they make animated movies, and they have a great success. And I guess after the release of their big successful animated movie, things start to crumble a little bit. They notice a lot of cracks in their relationship. One of them feels like the other one's way more talented and just does a lot better at animation than she does. Anyways, it's just this whole thing happens, and then there's a tragedy that occurs, and I guess ends up bringing them together somehow. So that's pretty much all I know about this book. Doesn't sound super interesting to me, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I've heard good things about it so far, so I have faith that this might be a decent read. The next book is called The Most Dangerous Place on Earth, and this is written by Lindsay Lee Johnson. And this book is about a high school, and I guess a young teacher, starts teaching there, and she's really interested in the lives of her fancy little students. The school is located in California, and it's like a pretty wealthy neighborhood, so all the kids' families are pretty well off, and all of them definitely have some secrets and some dark, shady pasts that are following them from middle school, I believe, and it starts to slowly unravel. Like the first book, this book doesn't sound super interesting to me. Like, high school being the place where it's all happening is just not a very appealing setting, but I think it might have some potential to be an interesting read, especially if there's something super dark and crazy that happened they're trying to get away from. That might be interesting. The next book is called The Sellout by Paul Beatty, and I haven't heard too much about it, but there's actually this thing going on in New York City right now where it's like New York City Reads or something. There's like 5 books, and you're supposed to vote for whichever one you think is the best for the whole city to read. And this is one of the books, and I've been slowly getting through the books because they were very easy to get at the library and they seemed like very interesting books, so I got them, all 5 of them, and I'm ready to read them, so I'm slowly trying to work through them, and I've turned my Wi-Fi off on my Kindle, so they'll never be able to get these books back. Just kidding, they'll be able to get them back when I turn my airplane mode off. But yeah, this book is about, takes place in California. It's about this guy who has been living there with his dad, and he's been raised by his dad, and his dad gets killed by a police officer. They're a black family, so that's something that I guess is kind of a satire, but it does touch on some dark topics and something that's very relevant to what's going on today. And basically it goes back to where they decide to reinstate like segregation and slavery, and I guess it's a good read, but it's supposed to be a satire, but definitely very dark, and Definitely touching on some very, very sensitive topics. But everyone says it's a great, interesting read that really brings up a lot of stuff, so I'm willing to give it a try. Last, I don't know, probably not least, is this book called Loving Frank by Nancy Horan. I picked this book up randomly at a thrift shop a while ago. I don't know why, because this does not sound very interesting to me at all. I avoid these kinds of books like the plague. But for some reason I picked it up. It's been sitting on my shelf for a very long time, and I feel like it's only right that I finally read it and probably just go and donate it again. Who knows? This is about a couple who have been like redesigning their home, and this Frank guy is their designer, I guess, who then strikes up a romance with the wife, and their crazy love affair begins. Basically this story in a nutshell. Like, I'm not a huge fan of romance novels, and I keep mentioning that over and over again, and then somehow I end up reading romance novels with some love affairs. I don't know how it happens. I should be more careful about the books that I decide to buy. So hopefully it'll be a good read, and hopefully I'll get through it, and everything will be okay. So that's it for my March 2017 TBR. Hopefully I'll read more than just these 4 books, and maybe I'll be able to add some more exciting books to the mix. Please let me know what you're reading right now, and also what you're looking forward to reading next month, if TBRs are something that you're into. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.